What's happening, everyone? I'm James Lynch, and we just had the UFC 294 main event conclude between Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. If you haven't seen the fight, please turn off this video. Trust me, you're going to want to see it. It is Islam Makhachev knocking out Alexander Volkanovski in the very first round. This was an unbelievable performance from Islam. This was a statement win. This absolutely puts him in the pound for pound list, in my opinion. I mean, this is an incredible win. And I know people will say, oh, Volk took this on short notice. It doesn't matter. He knocked out Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski's never been finished in the UFC. This is a huge feat. And to do this in the first round, I think is extremely impressive. You have to go all the way back to 2013, the last time Volk was finished in a fight. This was on the regional scene. He's a durable guy, and Islam went out there and head kick knocked him out, head kick / TKO'd him after this. Just there's not much more you can say. It was a short fight. Islam looked great. Volk did a good job getting him up against the cage, and then when they broke, Islam utilized that stand-up, and they were talking about on the broadcast how Islam's stand-up is underrated. I think this just proves that. I mean, I think when you saw people picking this fight by stoppage, a lot of people thought submission, because it's typically how Islam wins a lot of his fights. If you go look at the percentages, 44% of his wins by submission, only 20% by KO or TKO. But if you look at it here, the last time Islam, I'm trying to remember the last time he had a first round knockout win. I guess it would have been, was it Green or Hooker? One of those ones, right? Yeah, it was Green. He knocked him out in the first round there. But I mean, Bobby Green is one thing, but Alex Volkanovski, one of the most dominant featherweight fighters of all time, extremely impressive win here for Islam. So as far as what's next, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You have to do Justin Gaethje and Islam next. I think that makes sense with Islam's, stand up. I'm extremely intrigued by that, especially with, Gaethje coming off an impressive highlight reel finish over Dustin Poirier himself. So, yeah, I think that's absolutely the fight to make next. Do you save that for UFC 300? I mean, maybe the timing works out. I'd like to see Islam fight right away. It looked like he didn't take much damage. Early next year would be great, but, I know they're going to be looking to stack that UFC 300 card when that ends up happening. Let's talk about what's next for Volkanovski, because there's a bit of uncertainty here. I know before this fight, he had talked about possibly fighting Ilia Topuria in Toronto. That's UFC 297 in January. With him getting knocked out, I think that's off the table, or it should be off the table. If you get knocked out, you should take a lot of time off. I think Volk should wait till UFC 300 to fight. Same sort of deal. Take some time off. Even then, he might want to take some more time off. But he did say after the fight he wants to keep active. So we'll see what happens there. If I'm the UFC right now, Toronto does not have a headliner, does not have a championship fight. I would go with Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria for an interim title. I think you could do that. I mean, I personally don't think they need to do an interim title. I am of the belief you can do a pay-per-view without a title fight. I really feel that way. And I think Max and Ilia is the fight to make, because, Volk's going to need some time off to defend his title, I would think. And I think both are certainly worthy of getting that spot here. So that's kind of what I think next. There's also, I suppose, an outside chance as well that maybe Islam moves up to welterweight. But I've said this before, Islam hasn't had that many title defenses. I'm not a fan of fighters not defending their title a lot and then moving up a weight class. It kind of clogs up two divisions. So I would think, do Leon and Colby, and then the winner fights Bilal, and then Islam can fight Justin Gaethje, and then we can start getting the division moving here. But I'm still blown away. Sorry, as I'm coughing here. I'm still blown away by Islam's performance here. Like, to go and finish Volk is just such a big win for him. And now I think you can absolutely have that debate with him and Habib. You can have that debate about, him being the pound for pound best. I mean, this is a monumental win. And, I think short notice or not, to finish Volkanovski like this is such a huge feat and a big deal in my opinion here. So I'll be getting a bunch of UFC 294 stuff coming out probably this week. Just all types of storylines and cool stuff coming out of this. But I just wanted to do an initial video right now and give you my thoughts on this fight. Huge win for Islam Makhachev, finishing Alexander Volkanovski in the first round. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think it's going to be Gaethje and Islam next? If you do, what's your prediction for that fight? What should they do with Volk? What should they do with the featherweight title? What should they do with Toronto? Like, all this stuff gets impacted with Islam's big win here. And where do you rank Islam on the pound for pound list? Don't think there's any debate. I think he's got to be up there now. I mean, this is a stoppage win over Volkanovski. Has got to count for something. So I'm in that camp for sure that he can be at the top of the list right now. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram @LynchOnSports. I'm James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.